In the quaint, sleepy town of Newburgh, there lies an institution, a place of supposed higher learning, George Fox University. It is here, amidst the manicured lawns and ivy-clad walls, that my tale of sorrow unfolds, a saga of disillusionment, a chronicle of a spirit crushed under the weight of unmet expectations and the bitter tang of betrayal. As I walked through the gates, a young girl fresh from an ex-Soviet country, my heart brimmed with the naivety of hope. I sought knowledge, camaraderie, and a sense of belonging. Alas, what I found was a hollow facade, a place where the ghost of education lingered like a forgotten whisper in the halls. The food, oh, the food, it was a culinary catastrophe, a haphazard concoction of flavors that seemed to have conspired against palatability. The chefs, it seemed, were artists of the absurd, painting plates with the drab hues of overcooked vegetables and the limp despair of underseasoned meats. Each bite was a gamble, a potential assault on the senses that left one pining for the simple sustenance of a home-cooked meal. The aroma, if one could be so generous as to call it that, clung to the clothes and conscience alike, a constant reminder of the gastronomic gloom that awaited at every meal. Mandatory chapel attendance, a practice as archaic as the language I now employ, was the hourglass through which precious moments of life's fleeting sand were siphoned. To sit, to stand, to kneel not out of devotion, but out of duty was to partake in a ritual of ennui, a weekly pilgrimage to the altar of apathy. The pews, once meant to inspire reflection, instead became the wooden witnesses to the theater of the disengaged. The visitation hours, a relic of a bygone era, were the chains that bound the soul, a cruel jest at the expense of human connection. To be treated as a child, to have one's comings and goings policed by the clock, was to suffocate under the crushing weight of regulation. The patrolling eyes of the residents' life staff, ever watchful, ensured that the sacred hours of the night were not defiled by the presence of companionship. The dormitories, those bleak bastions of rest, were mausoleums of comfort, where the beds were as welcoming as a prison cot, and the walls echoed with the silent cries of 1,000 stifled yawns. The carpets, threadbare and indifferent, whispered tales of the students who had trodden upon them, each fiber a testament to the sleepless nights spent in contemplation of a better life beyond these oppressive confines. The professors, those learned savants entrusted with our intellectual nourishment, were but a motley crew of the dispassionate and the disengaged. Some, with the fire of true pedagogy in their eyes, did strive to impart wisdom, yet their voices were drowned out by the cacophony of administrative apathy. The curriculum, as stale as the air in the library's musty corners, was a labyrinthine puzzle, a testament to the university's penchant for pedagogical stagnation. The rules, oh, the rules. They were as numerous as the stars in the firmament, and as rigid as the iron gates that caged us in. Dress codes, like the shackles of a long-forgotten aristocracy, dictated the textiles that dared caress our skin. The administration, a monolith of inflexibility, wielded these edicts with the zeal of inquisitors, ever ready to extinguish the faintest flicker of individuality. And so, dear listener, we have arrived at the crux of my narrativia tale of woe, a dirge for the dreams that died within the walls of George Fox University, Newburgh. Here, amidst the ruins of my expectations, I stand as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. For though they have tried to break me, to mold me, I am looking into crimes near George Fox University, Newburgh, and I feel a strange heaviness. While I speak about it, you know I try to keep my voice gentle. But the stories are dark businesses near George Fox University, Newburgh, are like everyday stores that tourists often visit for convenience. They have bright signs and friendly staff, but lately some of them have become hiding places for silent thieves. The first story is about credit card skimmers that were found at a Dollar Tree and at a 7-Eleven on Highway 99. The devices look like normal card readers, but they contain hidden cameras that steal the magnetic stripe information when a card is swiped. I think the victims probably did not notice anything at the time. They simply paid for snacks or supplies and walked away later,
They might have checked their bank statements and seen strange charges. They probably called their bank to block the card and filed a report with the police. The thieves most likely removed the devices after the police announcement and hoped to move to another town. They may face arrest if investigators trace the equipment to a supplier businesses near George Fox University, Newburgh. Are also places where debit card skimming siphons benefits from shoppers, especially those using EBT cards. The skimmers were placed over the payment machines and recorded the data silently. I imagine the families who rely on EBT felt a sudden loss of funds and probably contacted the State Assistance Office to report the missing benefits. They likely had to wait for a replacement card and felt a breach of trust. The criminals behind the scheme probably hoped to sell the stolen data to other fraud networks and might be pursued by the Attorney General Office. Eventually, some of them could be caught. When the pattern of withdrawals is followed, do you see how these ordinary stores can turn into traps for tourists who are only there for a short 2-week visit? I praise your attention, because many people ignore these subtle dangers. I hope you understand that the hidden threat is real, and that ignoring it would be foolish. I feel sad that such simple trips can end with stolen money and broken confidence. But I also believe that awareness can change the outcome. Thank you for listening and for caring about the safety of travelers near George Fox University, Newburgh. In this segment, I will go over how the businesses near George Fox University, Newburgh are like a collection of promises that often turn into disappointment for travelers who are looking for a calm and friendly experience. Overall, the establishments in this area tend to be overpriced, inattentive, and sometimes hiddenly hostile. Many visitors describe a feeling of having paid for a polished image while receiving service that feels rushed, rude, or simply broken. The common thread is a mismatch between the advertised elegance and the reality that most guests actually encounter. The first type of venue that illustrates this pattern is the boutique lodging that presents itself as a romantic winery retreat. The setting in Willamette Valley exemplifies the problem. The general expectation is that a small inn in wine country will be welcoming to couples and their pets, but the experience often feels like a trap. Guests have reported that the property is not pet-friendly despite what third-party listings suggest, leading to last-minute evictions that ruin anniversary trips. The management has been described as cold and unhelpful, refusing refunds even when policies are vague. In addition, the rooms, while visually appealing, suffer from broken shower mechanisms, malfunctioning coffee makers, and limited electric vehicle charging options that are not clearly marked. The price jumps dramatically in peak season, turning a modest getaway into what many call highway robbery. The overall feeling is that the inn promises a quiet vineyard escape, but delivers stress, hidden fees, and an unwelcoming atmosphere. The second group of establishments are community arts and event spaces that should provide culture and safe supervision. The Chehalem Cultural Center is a case in point. The general expectation for a cultural center is that it will host organized classes, well-supervised camps, and clean venues for celebrations. In practice, visitors have found that scheduled ceramic sessions disappear without explanation, leaving groups waiting while staff appear confused. Camp supervision is reported to be nearly absent, with counselors more interested in their phones than the children, creating safety concerns for families. Weddings booked at the center have turned into costly surprises, with unexpected cleaning fees, extra charges for exceeding an arbitrary chair count, and malfunctioning air conditioning that has been described as a hothouse. Some guests have even reported sightings of rats during events, which turns a romantic celebration into an uncomfortable memory. The overall impression is that the center tries to appear elegant, but falls short in basic operational standards and genuine hospitality. The third category is the coffee shop that also sells books and aims for a hip, inclusive vibe. Chapters, Books, and Coffee has become a symbol of inconsistency. The expectation is that a coffee shop will serve a properly sized drink and treat customers with respect. Yet multiple patrons have described receiving coffee that is noticeably short of the advertised volume, with baristas refusing to refill or add extra milk. The staff have been called rude, and the overall atmosphere, while visually nice, is marred by overpriced beverages and a feeling of pretension. Some reviewers even mentioned that the store now displays symbols that they find surprising, leading to a sense that the shop has lost its original charm. This makes the experience feel more like a forced statement than a comfortable place to relax. The fourth, and perhaps most striking example, is the fine dining establishment that promises a world-class tasting menu. The Painted Lady is marketed as an upscale restaurant where food and service should be flawless.